BookTube. Welcome to Michael Romeo Talks Books. I want to say hello to my subscribers. Thank you for being subscribers. Thank you for supporting my channel. And for all you visitors out there, welcome to you. If you're a first-time visitor, big welcome. If you're a return visitor, still a big welcome. If you're a visitor, consider just subscribing. It doesn't cost anything, and you get updates whenever I update my channel, whenever I do new content. Remember to like this video if you like it, share it if you know somebody you think would enjoy it, and the comments down below, make sure you comment, because that's how you and I chat, and I look forward to those chats. Today I'm doing a tag. I'm doing the count with me from 1 to 10 tag. I was tagged, I'm getting bounced by leaves here. I was tagged by Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, and the tag was created by Shaun at The Bumbling Blogger. And so without further ado, let's get going. This was a tricky tag, very tricky. Had me going through my books looking for stuff that I wasn't sure I had. And it counts from 1 to 10, just like the title says. Okay, so first prompt is the first book in a series. Now I no longer have a hard copy of it, but I'll put up an image so that you can see it. But it is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I thoroughly enjoyed the Outlander series. I discovered it at the time when there were 8 books out in the series, I think. And my wife had gotten the first one, and she read it and she passed it on to me and said, "I think you'll like this." And I looked at it cross-eyed and said, "You think?" Because it didn't strike me from the cover as something that I would really enjoy. But then I started reading it, and before I know it, I had devoted the better part of a year to reading all 8 books. Why a better part of a year? Because some of these books are just flippin' thick. I'm talking over 1,000 pages in some of them. But they're good. I'll tell you what, the adventure goes on, and every book ended as a cliffhanger, and I had to find out what was going to happen next. But that's it. First book in the series, in this series, was Outlander, which was the name of the whole series, the Outlander series. Awesome. A book that you have 2 or more copies of, and I brought those outside with me here. I have 2 copies of Folly by Titchmarsh, and I'm not sure why I have 2. I did notice that this one here has some damage to it. Oh, I'm going to lose my balance here. It's got a chunk of pages here that are coming out. See? Oh, you can't see. I got too low. See? The chunk of pages coming out. Now, I don't know if that was the reason for getting the second one or not. It may be something my wife did and just didn't mention to me. So she went and got a second one that was in good condition, because both of us read this book and both of us liked it. It's a bit of a romance, bit of a mystery. It's one of Titchmarsh's best books. My wife likes him a whole lot more than I do. She likes all of his books except for one. And I like a few of his books. And this was one of the few that I liked. And I love the tagline here at the bottom where it says, "Their love story began before they were born." It was a very entertaining book, and I went through it rather quickly. It was definitely one of his better books. Titchmarsh, Folly. I have 2 copies of it. 3, a book that has 3 colors on the cover. I hunted and I hunted and I hunted, and the best I could do, I think, was this one, All the Tea in China, For All the Tea in China. A book about the China trade. I mean, the China trade. All of the tea trade from China to London, etc. As you see, it's got some of this dark gold thing going on, and it's got some of this light gold thing coming on, and it's got a lot of this black stuff going on. So I kind of counted it as 3 colors. It was probably the closest I could come to something that had only 3 colors. from the books that I found on my shelf. But For All the Tea in China, How England Stole the World's Favorite Drink and Changed History. So, there you go. Book that had 3 colors. Prompt number 4. 4 or more perspectives. For that one, again, I don't have a hard copy anymore, but I have it on my Kindle, so I'll put an image up. The Rich Are Different by Susan Howich. As Susan Howich does with many of her books, The Rich Are Different is written from several different perspectives. Several characters had their say about what's going on. And it's broken up into parts. You know, part 1 is told by, I think it's Diana. Second part is told by Cornelius. Third part, anyway, on and on. And you get varying perspectives of the events happening and of the people in the events. You know, you have one character that may like a person that is a main character, and then one of the other narrating characters will be an enemy of that character. So you get different perspectives of the different people involved, and it's a really good book. All of Susan Howich's books that I've read, I say, were really good books, and she does that multiple perspective routine in quite a number of her books. A 5-star read. Again, it's on my Kindle, so I'll put up an image, but a 5-star read that I love is Trinity by Leo Uris. It's a book set in Ireland. It starts at the potato famine, and the very start of the potato famine, and goes on to the start of the Irish Revolution. And it is a gripping novel. Wonderful characters. Totally enjoyed it from start to finish. I've read it several times. I'll read it again. It is just a great book. And if you enjoy historical history, did I say that? I'm sorry, historical fiction. If you enjoy historical fiction, and if you enjoy fiction that's based on history, I mean, there we go, then, especially if it's Ireland, if you like Ireland, then this book is definitely for you. It is just a wonderful, wonderful read. It's got tragedy, it's got humor, it's got everything in it. So definitely 5-star read, Trinity by Leo Uris. A book that has 6 or more short stories, and I've got that one here. This is Points of View. And this is a very special book for me. Actually, not this one itself, but the first edition, which has different stories than this one does. I got this one to see how they updated it. But the first one was a book that was assigned in college, and it has a black cover with kind of a rainbow circle of colored circles. And I probably in my mailbox right now is a copy I've ordered to replace the one that fell apart that I had in college. But one place where I ordered that one sent me this one, which is a different collection of stories. It was updated, and rather than calling it Points of View Part 2 or something like that, they just kept the same name. And it says 29 new authors added to this classic anthology. And that's kind of a misleading statement, because they're not added to the anthology. They replace stories in the anthology. So there's 29 stories in here that were not in the original, and 29 stories from the original that are not in here. So I need the two of them together, because otherwise my OCD will split up the middle. And so the other one should be in my mailbox, like I said, and then I've got this one, which I need to read because I haven't read it yet. And find out it's got Amal and the Night Visitors. Oh, that was fun. I saw that on TV. There was a good movie made from that. Yeah. So, it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good. They know what they're doing. Prompt 7. A 7 on the cover of the book. 7 on the cover of the book. I know I got that one here. Somewhere. There it is. This is a delightful book. I read it just about every year at Christmas time, and it is 7 Stories of Christmas Love by Leo Biscalia. And it is his memoirs of 7 Christmases, 7 specific Christmases in his life when something special happened. And my wife and I read to each other a lot, as some of you who follow my channel know. And this is one that around Christmas time we read to each other, because the stories are absolutely delightful. If you're not familiar with Leo Biscalia, the man was all about the power of love and the efficacy of hugs and that stuff. And there's his picture right there. The stuff in his stories is all about love and hugging and just feeling good about other people and finding the best in other people. And 7 Stories of Christmas Love is a beautiful book. I highly recommend it. Go out and buy it if you don't have it. I'm not sure if it's still in print, but I'm sure used book places have it. That's where I got this one. The 7 Stories of Christmas Love. Definitely take a look at that one. Prompt number 8 has 8 letters in the title. 8 letters in the title. Now, I kind of hesitated on this one because, and I'll tell you why. The book is Let It Rot. Okay? And the reason I hesitated is because it has that subtitle, The Gardener's Guide to Composting. And I thought, well, what if that counts as the title? Then there's a whole lot more than 8 letters. But then I noticed on the binding, all it has is Let It Rot, which is 8 letters, unless you count the exclamation point, which I didn't. So yes, I own a book on the pleasures of composting. And I had read it. I've read the whole thing, cover to cover. And it's about as exciting as you would expect a book on composting to be. So enough said about that. Okay, book number 9. A book that ends on page 9. And for that one, and I had to hunt for this one, I was getting so frustrated because there just wasn't a book that ended in 9. Oh my goodness, it still has the used bookstore sticker on it. How did I not get that off? Memoirs of a Medieval Woman. I actually bought it from my wife because she loves stuff like this. And she did enjoy this one, The Life and Times of Marjorie Kemp. And it has, not counting the index and not counting the bibliography, the book itself, the story of the book ends on page 259. Can you see that? It looks like it's going to be a little blurry on from what I can see on my screen. But 259. Book that ends in a 9. And 10 books in the series. Now I wondered about this one, and I almost called a friend. Does it mean only 10 books in the series? Or the book has at least 10 books in the series? Well, I went through all the series that I knew, and none of them had 10 books exactly. It was either less than 10 books or more than 10 books. So I chose one that has 25 books, because if it has 25 books, then it has 10 books, right? That's the way I look at it. So it's the Brady Coyne series by William G. Tapley, who's an author I studied under when I was going to be the Great American Writer. He taught a wonderful one-on-one class on how to write a mystery. And I did the whole thing beginning to end. And still to this day, when I have the urge to sit down and write something, I remember a lot of what he taught me, and I still use some of the stuff that he taught me. And but this Brady Coyne series is wonderful. It's a Boston lawyer who solves mysteries, and definitely, if you've not encountered it, give it a shot. It starts with the book Death at Charity's Point. If you love the Boston area, you'll love these books. He's got all the landmarks, all the famous restaurants, all the wonderful things about Boston. And yes, I know Boston. I am very, very familiar with Boston. Grew up not far from Boston. Definitely, the Brady Coyne series is a great series of mysteries. So that was all of them. That was 10 prompts. Did I skip anything? I don't think so. Yep, I got them all. That was 10 books. So, once again, check out Shaun, the Bumbling Blogger, and Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, the creator and the tagger on this one. And I am going to tag 3 people on this. Okay, I'm going, and please don't hate me, folks, when you start doing this tag and realize just how much work it is. I'm going to tag Read by Fred. If you haven't checked out his channel, he is a wonderful booktuber. Has a unique take on books, and some of the books he reads are they're delightful to hear about. So go check him out. I am going to tag MJ at Reading This Life, another great channel. She is the champion of the small booktuber, the person that's just starting out, and she does a thing every Sunday where she mentions 4 or 5 brand new booktubers and gets them boosted up. I was one of those people, and one of her first ones back in February. I had just started. I'd been a month on BookTube. I had probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 subscribers. I didn't have much at all. She gave me a plug on one of her new booktuber content, and next thing I knew, I was like up to 50, and I was just beside myself with joy. I was awesome. I had 50 subscribers. I wanted to celebrate that 50, and now I'm like, how far am I from 500? Anyway, and then I am also going to tag Micah Cummins. And I know I've tagged Micah in quite a few, but this one just seemed to have his name on it for some reason. I don't know why. I think he'll have some very clever answers to these prompts. And again, if you haven't checked out his channel, fascinating to listen to. History is his big thing, and classics. It's not exclusively his stuff, but when it comes to those 2 things, he's spot on. And I guess that's it for now. That's it. It's over. Count with me to 10. You all counted with me from 1 to 10. And I appreciate that you all were here at Michael Romeo Talks Books. And this was supposed to be up for Tag Tuesday. And it is now about 5 o'clock on Tuesday. And I'm not going to be putting it up because my Wi-Fi here at the home is pitiful. And but just so you know why it's a day late and how my week has been going, when I say that tomorrow morning I will be uploading this at the hospital, just know that that's how my week has been going. Okay, so that's it. I'll be uploading this for Tag Wednesday, or Tag Tuesday a day late, maybe I'll call it. The belated Tag Tuesday. I don't know, I'll come up with some kind of thing to title it. And I'm glad you all were here for it. I look forward to talking with you all in the comments. And I guess that's it for now. We'll chat at y'all later. Bye. And